Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. What is happening, folks? It's another edition of the Rico Report, breaking you some great news. If you guys have been living under the rock, I think I gave you guys enough time to digest what has just taken place with the Buffalo Bills. We made some moves, folks. We made some moves. Some folks have been asking, wondering, when is Brandon gonna make a move? When is he gonna say something? When's he gonna, shake things up in the offseason? Well, I'll tell you this much. The one that was making a whole lot of noise is our running back, James Cook. And to Brandon Beane's, I gotta give him credit. I'd like things to stay in-house. Don't really kind of get out there and start, talking a whole lot of stuff. Just let your game do the talking. But I respect that brother enough that I'm not going to let this sway what I need to do. But this ain't about James Cook. This, ladies and gentlemen, is about our guy in the name of Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir has struck a deal with the Buffalo Bills that lands him a $60 million deal. Of that 60, 32 guaranteed. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we feeling about that move? I'll tell you right now, I actually feel good about it. I think it's a well-deserved move for our guy, Khalil Shakir. Quiet, does his job. You ain't going to hear a peep about him. Reliable, healthy, and gives us a spark offensively that we desperately need. There's something that stands and that sticks with me, that Brandon Beane will take care of his own. That's one thing that we can all agree upon. If you are part of this fabric, you're part of this thing that we're building, I got to be selective on who I allow to be part of this. And Brandon Beane has made it very clear by letting our guy, Khalil Shakir, understand that you are part of this. You are a franchise player that's going to be helping build the rest of the franchise. But we already know who the ultimate franchise player is. But when you start putting pieces around your franchise, it helps the franchise. And that is Josh Allen. So this is a move I didn't see coming right off the rip. I really did not see this move coming right off the rip. But it's also nice to know that Brandon Beane appreciates players that keep their mouth shut, put their head down, and get to work. And that's what we gain when we have the likes of Khalil Shakir. You have that in him. This is the guy that this year had a fantastic year. His production only improved every year. And that's what you want. Year 3 is usually the biggest year that you see the biggest jump from your players. And that's exactly what we got from Khalil Shakir. But let me break a little bit more down as to why I like this move and why I think Brandon Beane understands why this move is important. You have a guy that strives to make plays after the catch. You have a guy that will make moves in order to move the sticks. You have a guy that at first was questioned on some of the drops early in his career. And he's now been the most reliable. You need a play. You need a clutch play. You can rely on number 10 to come up and make a play for his quarterback. And that's what you see time and time again. This is one of my favorites. Making a move, getting to the end zone, and putting the game away. That's what you're supposed to do for number 17. When 17 calls your number, you make stuff happen. And Brandon Beane obviously acknowledged that. And with the acknowledgement, you have to understand, this year, Gaining him for 32 mil at $15 million a year is an absolute, I don't want to use the R word because I don't think Brandon is in the business of doing that. But this is a heck of a deal. This is a steal for the Bills. This is a great position for Khalil to be here. He has an opportunity to step his game up even further. You're looking at a guy this year alone, second in yak, 704 yards of yak yards. Second in missed tackle forced, 24 missed tackles forced. You're looking at a guy that has the best catch rate, fourth best catch rate in the game this year, 78.3. Fifth best drop percentage, 2.1%. 12th in rating when targeted, 110.7. Lastly, 14th in yards per route run at 2.0. Ladies and gentlemen, we locked this brother, and he's only 25 years of age. How do you like them apples? I like him a lot. And I love the fact that Brandon Beane acknowledged it. I love the fact that we can sit here and say, you know what? One down, maybe a couple more to go. Who is absolutely next on that list? We will soon find out. But I love the fact that Brandon Beane dropped the old sack and said, you know what? Let me sign this brother right now and get him going. So in the chat, y'all let me know how you feel about this move. Is this a move that we anticipated? Did we see this coming this soon? I certainly did not. But the fact that it got done tells me that what Brandon Beane sees in this offense, we're not trying to disturb too much of it. What that tells me is, at least it feels like to me, that we are saying peace out to Amari. Maybe he doesn't return. I don't think he does, with money going to Khalil, whether that was in the plans and they're still trying to make things happen. I think that this was a great move, and I've got a lot more to share on this move alone because it made me think of something when it came to trying to keep the nucleus together, keep the young core together with a up and rising quarterback that just got yourself an MVP. Of course you want to build around him. This is where you want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that your quarterback has everything he needs. And that's what we get with Khalil Shakir. Y'all sound off in the chat. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Are y'all feeling that move? Do we like Khalil Shakir being there? Were you thinking, we could have done a lot more with that money? I mean, you didn't have to sign. You could have. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm all for this move. It doesn't break the bank. He now becomes, with this deal, look at this. He now becomes the 27th highest paid receiver in the game. 27th. I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, man, what an amazing deal. It's not the case. The fact that he's the 27th paid highest receiver, that tells me we got a lot more moving and shaking to do. A lot more moving and shaking to do, and I'll take that every day. So if you guys appreciate this signing, smash that like for your boy. Smash that like for Khalil Shakir. This is great value, fantastic value. Here comes my man Walter. What's Walter got to say? Walt says, hey, do we really think that team plays anywhere near, do we really think another team plays anywhere near 15 mil per year or pays? I'm not convinced. Davis, who was more productive and was more known as an overall player, made 13 mil in open market. So my man doesn't like this move. He's not a fan. I don't know. I don't think he's saying he doesn't like the fan, but he doesn't feel like anybody else would have paid that money. Let me tell you something, my man Walter, you should know better than this. You know how free agency goes. We've seen players, first of all, do you really believe that Gabe Davis deserved all the money that he got? Honestly? That's the first question I asked you. We've seen guys get paid big time money that you're like, what? How did you get all that money right off the rip? When the fact that we were able to keep our own and it didn't break the bank, fam, no. And I'm absolutely thrilled the fact that we got this one. I don't know how you can sit here and tell me, was he really worth 50 mil, fam? Here's what Brandon Beane does. He did it with Josh. I don't know. I feel like you're catching on. I feel like you're catching on, but I don't know if you're trolling right now. But Walt doesn't seem like a troller. He says what he says. He says it with his chest. I appreciate that. But I'm gonna tell you this. Brandon Beane understands somewhat of leverage, and he got Josh signed above early and above all the other big time quarterbacks. And look at the value. Now people are looking like, man, look at Josh Allen's deal. What a heck. How did Brandon beat? Because he signed him early. He signed him early. So before all these guys that were in the same class as Khalil Shakir start getting big time deals, he's like, yo, I ain't in the business of trying to overpay. Let's just say Khalil Shakir next year comes in with a, I don't know, 100 catch season, goes for 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's gonna be like, I outplayed, you know what I'm saying, what you thought I was going to do. So don't come back and try to give me, this is the game. This is the business. This is the business. And you can't tell me that you value Gabe Davis over Khalil Shakir. I certainly don't. I certainly do not. And I stand on that. So maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Maybe I'm not seeing something that you see. But I ain't no way that I'm looking at those two, comparing the prices. They overpaid, first and foremost. They absolutely overpaid. If somebody says that we overpaid for Khalil Shakir, you got to wait till next year. They're not paying for what Khalil did. They're paying for what Khalil will do because they see it. And his production only increased every freaking year. 10 receptions his rookie year. Second year comes in with 29 receptions. His third year explodes for 79 receptions. And you think he's going to just stick and chill out? Bro, he's about to go off. He's about to go off. And when, you saw the deal that they gave Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver got his money that same year, 9.5 sacks. Should have had 10. You know what I'm saying? So that you're like, okay, there is that dog in there. So if you thought that Khalil was nice, now he got paid and he feels wanted and appreciated, yo, let's work. And that man's been working with Eric Moses the whole damn time. So he's going to break out even more. I like it. Now, what's Walt saying? Walt says, hey, keep in mind, I didn't want Davis and still don't. I'm just looking at the production. I get it. But you got to think about what the production will be. And let's be honest with you. I felt that I've been saying it all year. Let me get a sip here. I've been saying it all year. I feel like we should have got Khalil Shakir way more involved than we did. I felt like for what we got, 76 receptions, 800 yards, fam, he could have done way more with more opportunity. But we're spreading the ball now. So now when you give somebody 60 mil, 32 mil guarantee, you can't sit here and just continue to give him the targets you were giving him. That target share has to increase. If it increases, you get more production out of your top dog. So, like, what are we really talking about? You feel what I'm saying? So, although I understand where you're coming from in terms of production, it's not like he's sitting here giving me, 1,500 yard receiving, 100 yards, but that could be coming. That could be coming. That's a few more receptions, 4 or 5 more receptions per game. And that's, added, tagging another 60, 70 yards per game. I'm no mathematician. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But fam, you could really do it. My man Bills for Life says, yo, if Shakir gets 850, 1,100 yards, 850 to 1,100 yards, 4 to 6 touchdowns over the contract, it's a massive dub. I think he'll do better. And by the way, my man Cody Ben's haircut is coming. I'm looking like a scrub right now, but I had to stay like this until tomorrow because I got to get a cut tomorrow because I got to go to obviously got to clean myself up for the funeral and all that good stuff. So, yeah, man, I'm looking like a major bum. Major bum alert. That's your boy right now. But yeah, that's the way I look at it, man. So Khalil Shakir, love it. Like the move. Love what Brandon Beane did. Question now becomes, you got me something like Goldberg. Who's next? Because we have several guys that are in line to potentially get an extension. Christian Benford certainly is one of them. Terrell Bernard certainly is one that probably will be next. If you know what I'm saying, who knows? Greg Rousseau certainly in that realm of potentially getting, himself an extension. And I feel like I'm missing one more. I feel like there's one more I'm missing. A young player that should be, potentially get some contract talk. Because I knew he was always Khalil, Benford, Bernard, Rousseau. I feel like I'm missing one more, but it's not a big deal right now. But I like what I see from my guy Beane. Now, this doesn't take away the pressure that I have on Beane this year. This absolutely does not take away the pressure that I have on Beane this year. And I do want to get into a couple things about the presser with Sean McDermott. There were some things that my brother said that I was like, I don't know about all that, bro. We got to talk about it. You guys let me know what he said in his presser that kind of made you shake your head or made you say, yep, that's why I like my coach. That's my guy. So we'll see. But I'm certainly watching everything. I'm certainly seeing how they move. And I mean, listen, I think they understand what's at stake here. I think the Bills organization, Pagula, Beane, McDermott, I think they understand what's at stake and what needs to happen. And it starts with one move at a time. And this move is a great move said by John Blackman. John Blackman's like, yo, that's a great move, man. I don't know what everybody's stressing about. That's a fantastic move. And I wholeheartedly agree. Now, what does this do for Buffalo? What does it do for the Bills? What does it tell other teams? And I'm saying, like, well, what are we looking at here? There's a message sent, but who's the message sent to? Or is there a underlying message in this signing? And there's one individual that stands out to me that I feel that this signing does something for this individual. And I'll talk about that in just a moment, but I like this signing. So just so we know, the details haven't been broken down yet, but we're looking at a 4-year deal worth $60 million with $32 million guaranteed, which gives them about an average of $15 million a year. Folks, look at all the receivers that are getting paid in the league right now. Look at all the receivers that got overpaid and just you're not getting the return on your investment. You can't tell me that you're not going to get your return on investment with Khalil Shakir. You can't. And I believe that we will. We absolutely will. I believe that he can turn it up another level. And I think this is why they paid him the money that they paid him. So who is the message for? Because I feel like this signing certainly sends a message to someone. And who do you guys think I'm referring to? And you guys let me know. You guys let me know what your thoughts are. I'll share that in just a moment. I'm going to make a note of that because I also want to share something about James Cook and Thurman Thomas. And I want to get your thoughts on that in just a moment. But you guys let me know who do you feel that this message should be resonating with, and this person has to put their hands together and say, okay, here's what I got to do. So number one, right off the rip, and I want to stay on the Khalil Shakir signing because I think this is a good signing, a solid signing, and it just keeps the group together. You're looking at an offense that put up 600 and what? I think it was like 612 yards of total offense, regular season and postseason. Number one in the game. They were a top 3 scoring offense. I believe they were top 2 scoring offense. I think they were between the Eagles and the freaking and the Ravens. So the 3 of us were near the top. I can't remember who. It doesn't matter. We were all putting up 31, 32, 33 points a game. So that tells you something. We're trying to continue to put points on the board. So what this signing, like, what are we doing? What's going to change? I guess that's what it comes down to. Here's how I look at it. You just signed this brother, 15 mil a year, 32 guaranteed. I still don't believe he's a receiver 1 because that receiver 1 is the guy that you always look to make a play. I'm not saying that Josh doesn't look at Khalil Shakir as the guy to make the play, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You knew Stephon Diggs was receiver 1. Why? When a play needed to happen, it happened. The game that comes to my mind right now was the Cardinals game, the one that we lost with the Hail Murray. Right before the Hail Murray, the series before that, we drove down the field, play after play. Who does Josh Allen look to make a play? You know who. Stephon Diggs in that left corner, beautiful catch, and away we go. You love to see it. You started to see a little bit of that near the end of last year. I mean, let's go to the Kansas City playoff game, right? Where it's a play that Josh is rolling left. I don't know how. It just happens. He rolls right, rolls left, flicks it. Here's Shakir on the sideline making that catch. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. So that's where it started to build. It started to build right there. So it's only going to build. So why not start to kind of let it be known that, hey, he may not be receiver one, like, some of the top dogs, but we're about to find out if we can unlock more out of Khalil Shakir. And giving him that deal, maybe it tells me they're going to try to unlock a little bit more. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually very interested in it. But there's one person that is holding him back, in my opinion. There's one person holding him back. And I'm not saying this person's holding him back because, they just don't see the value in him. But this one individual is holding him back by not letting him flourish even more so. Are you guys understanding who I'm coming after? I'll say it is Joe Brady. It's Joe Brady. Joe Brady has the ability to unlock this dude. Joe has the ability to get him plays vertically. You heard Coach McDermott talking about, we absolutely need a field stretcher. We need a guy that's going to really take, get down the field and get some speed. Bro, you're not looking at Khalil Shakir that runs a 4.7. He doesn't run a 4.6. He's a 4.42 guy, 4.43 guy. It's not like he can't get downfield. So why aren't we seeing him with design plays to get him downfield? The times that we do see him downfield is usually a broken play. Or he's making things happen on his own. When have we seen him just beat a guy and get going? I think this is where Joe Brady has to set him up in more ideal situations. You can't just keep running the man in the screenplay or, a little dig route here and a dig route there. Let him run that full freaking tree and find a way to do it. You clearly had trouble doing that for Amari Cooper. I don't know what the hell took place, but you got to do it with a guy that's reliable, dependable, and can make plays. You've got to be able to unlock my man, Khalil Shakir. He's too talented for you not to. So when you get paid $15 million over in the next 4 or 5 years, bro, he's capable. So put him in position to do it. Put him in position to do it. And sometimes I might be horribly wrong, but sometimes these coaches, they got an ego. And their ego is like, run the play the way I want the play run. Now, I'm not saying Joe Brady's like that, but sometimes when you see a player like Khalil Shakir that's explosive, that does all the right things, and then you're like, again, another screen? Like, what? Why isn't he running the ones going deep? Why are we sending Keon Coleman deep? That's not known to go deep. Explain that to me. Deep routes we got from, Mac Hollins. I'm not saying Mac Hollins can't run. He clearly showed he could, but why aren't we sending my guy deep? I just never understand it. And unless somebody can prove me absolutely wrong, no, man, he was sent deep. All right, show me. And I'm willing to tell me I'm wrong. But my eye tells me something completely different. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to seeing how Joe Brady going into his full second year, how he's going to unlock. Because you don't pay someone that kind of money to give him the production that you were giving him last year. Like, don't treat him like that. Don't disrespect him like that. Unleash him. It's only better for the offense. It's only better for the chemistry between him and Josh. You got to keep it up. There's no question about that. I can't. I don't want to see money being wasted. I hope it doesn't. To my man Walter's point, we're not paying him for what he did. We're paying for what we believe he's going to give us, and he's only increased every year since 10 receptions to 29 receptions to a whole whopping 76. It should only go up from here. He's going to do what he needs to do. That's it. Hold on a second. My man Walter says, yo, Rico, can you show the top receiver contracts and discuss Shakir's place among them? To me, it's illuminating to look at the list because you'll be Shakir is an outlier. Oh, Shakir is an outlier. I mean, certain things are going to shake up. I'll try to look for that for you, my man. I'll prop that up in just a second, in just a moment. And if I don't, remind me so I can go look that up. I'll prop it up in just a moment. So now, I love the signing. I think most of Bills fans are on board. They see the value, they understand it, and I think this is only going to get better for the Bills. It's only going to get better for this offense and the continuity. Offense is intact, O-line intact. We're going to shore up that running back room, and I'm about to get into that topic in just a moment. And the receiver room, I know that we still got to shake things up. We absolutely got to shake things up. But one thing's for certain, we locked ourselves up a nice slot receiver, and he can only get better, folks. He can only get better. So it's only going to be better for us. So that is my one topic I wanted to touch on. Second topic, because I can't be on too late. I got to work in the morning real early. All right. I still got a day job, folks. Still got a day job. All right. James Cook. So James Cook has got me he's got me in this this, I don't know what to call it. I'm not confused. You got me sounding like I'm from Baltimore. I'm not confused. But James Cook, man, we got to figure. I'm unsure about James Cook. There are times where I'm sitting here going, all right, man, we got to pay this brother. We got to pay him. Keep the group together. Don't mess it up. Let's run. He's in it. He's going to be in his prime. Why not take full advantage of James Cook being in his prime? What are we sitting here wasting people's time for? Get that brother get him in his prime, and let's roll. That's the only way I can see it. I don't want to look at it any other way. It's just what it is. So it got me thinking, why are we sitting here as Bills fans, like all year round, y'all been telling me James Cook is nice. He's this, he's that. And I believe it, because I was convinced that he can do what y'all have been telling me the last couple of years that he can do. He finally I was able to see it for myself that this dude can do the things that a lot of y'all have been telling me. So then I'm like, okay, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He had a big, huge 16 touchdown season that led the league. He's 25 years of age? Man, what are we talking about here? Well, we're just going to develop a running back like this and just let him walk? I understand the notion of running backs are a dime a dozen. I do. I understand it. You got Aston Genty coming up in the draft. You got Hampton coming up in the draft. And you got a bevy of other good backs that are coming up. Yeah, you can get running backs between the rounds 2 and 7. Heck, we have one right now in our backfield in Ray Davis. I understand that. But then I'm like, let me take you back a little bit. So I was thinking about keeping the core together. If you're going to keep the core together, why mess around and not do this whole, am I going to pay him? Am I not? Do I let him go? Or do I this? Am I going to go with Ray Davis? And you guys know me. I'm a big fan of Ray Davis. I think Ray Davis can come in and do a fine job. But there's a little something different about James Cook, about when he finds a seam and he's gone. There's that joy that we gain, you know what I'm saying, by watching this guy take over a game, watching this guy make clutch plays up against KC. You guys saw it for yourself. So why toy with it? I'm not saying Brandon Beane's toying with it. I'm just saying, why even entertain the notion of messing around and just, I don't know if we will or not. So then it got me thinking. I was like, hold on. We want to keep talent. We want to develop talent and keep talent. So I went back and I was looking at, okay, when Thurman Thomas was on our squad, right? And I'm looking at Thurman Thomas and I was like, how many times did Thurman Thomas get a contract extension? Because I was really wondering that. I'm like, and I know he played for the Bills for a while, and then he went to Miami, played for Miami, which I'm still baffled at that. That's probably a weird one for him too. All right. So that being said, I was looking at his contracts and how often the Bills extended his contracts and so on and so forth. Bro, the Bills extended Thurman Thomas contracts 4 times. they kept on bringing him back. Could you imagine if the Bills, and hindsight is 2020, obviously, because Hall of Famer, all that good stuff. Could you imagine if the Bills were like, it's Thurman Thomas, bro. We can find another Thurman Thomas in the draft, man. Just let him go somewhere else. Bro, you would have gave up on Thurman. You would have gave up on Thurman Thomas, and he would have, helped some other team have great success. So am I saying we have a Thurman Thomas on our team right now? No. Am I saying that who knows? Maybe we do? Yes. So why give up on something that is absolutely working? He's asking to be paid what he feels he deserves. Give him the freaking money. And this is where I'm battling with myself, because I like the depth that we have, and maybe that money can go elsewhere. But then why put the money elsewhere when you know that money will be put to good use? Nothing worse than when you waste money. I'll tell you right now, I'll talk about my kids real quick. Dad, can I have $5? Can you take me to the dollar store? All right, a dollar store, maybe Dollar Tree for you guys, or Dollar General. I don't know what you guys call it, right? Can you take me there? And nothing worse than when I see my kids take that $5 I just gave them and absolutely waste it on junk, right? Or when they get Christmas money or birthday money and they stack up, $50, $80, $100, $200. I think my daughter made like $270 of Christmas money, etc., because it was Christmas and birthday money. Her birthday is close to Christmas. She spent it wisely on certain things. She's a penny pincher. She holds it. The other one, though, will go out and just rip it through nothing. Nothing worse than when you see money just being spent on nonsense. But when it's being put to good use, you tend to like to see that. Would the Bills paying James Cook be a waste of money? Absolutely not. I think that's money well spent, because you know what you gain out of him. And he's only going to get better. He's not one that is injury prone. He's reliable. Yeah, but Rico, he's only a 2-down back. You're right. But is it because he can't play? Or is it because they just make him that way? Are they trying to force a 2-back system when it may not necessarily be a need? Why not try to give him more touches? Will that occur when and if they give him his contract? So do it. You know what you get. You know he's going to give you all. James Cook is a second-round pick made by Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane doesn't want to watch him walk away. Brandon Beane still has remorse over letting Wyatt Teller walk away. He still is cooking himself inside when he knows he's got talent. You don't let talent walk away. You certainly do not. So you've signed your guy. And your big three on the offensive side will be Josh, James, Shakir. Build around that core. And if Keon decides to come on and show me what you got, boom, now you got Keon. And if Dalton Kincaid decides to say, you know what, I'm ready to go, now you got yourself a little core that you keep together. But you don't want to weaken your team by moving on from James Cook just to save some cash, because you feel like you'll get the same production, or relatively the same production out of Davis. They're two different backs. So if Cook wants 15, have the conversation openly, and if it's like 14, then so be it. Give him that 14, because you know what you're going to get with him. And then you move on to other things. But if he wants 15, what are we talking about here, fam? He's going to be the second highest paid running back. Trust me, I'm battling myself right now. But then I'm going back to the 90s Bills. I was like, bro, they kept Jim. They kept Thurman. They kept Andre. They kept them as much and as long as they could. They kept Bruce on the other side. They kept these boys as long as they could. And in that moment, 4 straight Super Bowls. Now, we don't like the result, clearly, but they ran the AFC and dominantly ran the AFC. So we are right now running the AFC East. Let's keep running the freaking AFC East until someone throws us off, keep it pushing. Keep that roster rolling. Now, if I'm tripping, y'all let me know. I'm always open to conversation. Always. My man Star Baby says, yo, pay me what I'm worth. One of a kind. Don't we all want to be paid what we're worth? Don't we? If we feel we bring something to the table, if we feel we're just as good as these top dogs, and he's probably saying, and you guys don't even give me the ball like I should. You guys know that I'm durable. I'm hitting it between the tackles. I'm breaking tackles. I'm doing what I need to do. What are we talking about here? Pay me. And Brandon Beane should understand the pressures on him. So whether he signs him or not is going to be interesting. But it made me look back to the contract extensions that Thurman Thomas got. And I had no choice but to go back and say, oh, could you imagine if we didn't have Thurman Thomas? It was Jim and whomever. I mean, Jim and no Andre Reed. Because, oh, no, we ain't going to pay it. Nah, bro. Pay your crew. Especially if they're worth it and you can see that they're going to give you something well worth and getting your reward on that. I'm just going to look at the Thurman Thomas contracts throughout his career with the Bills. You'll be interested. I mean, obviously, it's back in the 90s, so them contracts don't look nearly as good as what you'll see here. But nonetheless, it's something. I don't know if you guys are mathematicians, but I'd love to see what the money then would equate to in terms of money now. All right. So obviously from 88, he was a rookie, drafted in the second round. Interesting enough. Okay. In 93, Thurman Thomas got an extension. 4-year deal, $13.5 million. Isn't that crazy? 4-year, $13.5 million contract with the Bills, making him at the time one of the highest paid running backs in the game. This came after his dominant early years, including winning in the 91 NFL MVP. Golly, that's coming after an MVP. So you got to understand. You know what I'm saying? God, Thurman was a dog, boy. You got to understand that, I want my money because I got the NFL MVP. Cool. And then he restructured again in 97. They were faced with salary cap issues, so Thomas restructured his deal multiple times to help the team retain the key players. So those are things that these guys are going to have to do around the time. And then in 99, obviously took a pay cut, and then they released them, and then you guys know the rest of it, right? But he made some good money with the Bills over time. So you want to keep your key players, especially in their prime. I'm just checking to see how much money he's made with the Bills over time. So Thurman, how much money? From 88 to 99, this brother made 20 to 25 mil during his time with the Buffalo Bills. His biggest contract obviously was at $13.5 million over the 4 years. And obviously he signed to restructure and all that good stuff. 13.5. Isn't that crazy? But 13.5 then was probably amazing. Isn't that something? 13.5 then. But you're looking at when he got his contract, MVP, but he was also a third down back. So this is where I need to see, or they need to foresee, if James Cook is worthy enough to do those things. Is there conversations as to what he needs to improve? Who knows? But that's where I'm split down the middle. I can see why folks want to pay him, and if we were to pay him, I would certainly not be mad about it. If we did not pay him and just let him play his last year of the contract, it would be sad to see him go if he had a blockbuster year. But then you also know the price is going to go up if he has a monster year. So, oh, my man. Oh, somebody did the math for me. There you go, Tebow. Tebow says 13.5 mil then is 30 mil today. And my man James Cook is asking for, what was he asking for? 45 mil? Right? If we do 15, so 45 mil over 3 years, we'll say maybe 55 over 4, whatever the case is, 60 over 4, whatever. Kind of like the same deal. I could totally see him getting the same deal that Khalil Shakir got. To be honest with you. Same deal that Shakir got, boom, call it a day. So, I mean, we'll see. Isn't that wild? 13.5 mil today is 30 mil. Thanks for doing that math. Did you chat GPT that one? If you did, kudos to you. So that's one aspect I'm looking at. All right. So next portion of the show, I wanted to jump into My man said, yo, but Namdi says, yo, but the cap is higher today than then. I know. That's why it's hard to factor. That's why I was like, what was it then? How would you compute it now? So there's so much. The league has absolutely skyrocketed in popularity. I mean, the NFL is yearly now. It's like there's something every single, calendar month, something to do with the bill. So, I mean, shoot, let's see. My man Salvi said, you'll stop it, Rico. Can't compare Cook to a Hall of Fame player. I'm not. I said at the beginning, I'm not comparing the two, but I'm making you understand the contrast of you want to keep your key players. That's the point I'm trying to make. Keep your key players together. You don't want to just squander it and let him go somewhere else. Where you developed them, you did all the good things, and now you're going to watch him deal somewhere else. Nah, man, you want to try to keep your own. That's the way I look at it now. But nonetheless, I see what you're saying, though. I do see what you're saying, but understand my end of what I'm trying to say, too. So that being said, let's move on to the next topic here. So my man, Sean McDermott, I'm going to paraphrase you because I wanted to play his whole interview. But I was pressed for time because I was for the first time in my lifetime, side note, I was invited to go to a trivia night. Boy, do I not know Ish. And the group of guys that I went with, they brought me over. It's like, yo, sports, some of the hip hop R&B type of stuff. And are you good with movies? I was like, yeah, some movies I'm good with. And some. Anyways, fun night. Never done a trivia night before. That was dope. I'm ready to do it again. I was all pumped up. So everything had to be pumped a little later today. So I'm a little tight.
I'm ready too.
Anyway,
to make sure
that being said, let us roll to what I need to do. My man said ChatGPT says it'd be 4-year deal now. Would be 108 mil. What? Hold on. Is that what ChatGPT said? Yo, what did you ask ChatGPT? What did you ask it? 4-year, 108 million? Nah, you got to talk to me then. So that means Thurman was making good money there. Thurman must have been making some good money. Anyway, talk to me. Get my attention afterwards. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott said a few things that kind of threw me off a little bit. All right. Hold on. Salvi says, Dallas podcaster proposed Cook, Kincaid, and this year's one for Micah, who wants to be the highest paid. Oh. I would take it. You get a young Micah. Oh, yeah. Kincaid, this year's one. There's a few things that I got to talk about. Ooh, I got to listen. Don't make me make rash decisions. I need to think about that one. But initially, I'd be like, yes, sign me up. Sign me up with Micah. Yes, 100%. But anyway, let me let me keep it pushing for a second. That's a damn good question, by the way. All right, next topic. Damn. Every time I don't get my haircut, bro, my mustache starts to curl up. It's annoying as ever. I gotta keep bringing it down. That's those with facial hair and mustache problems. My shit curls up, bro. I hate that. Anyway, let's keep it rolling here. My man Walter says, I would take that deal in a heartbeat. When you think about it immediately, you're like, yes. And then you're like, well, I'm giving up this and that. But then once you look at it, nah, I'm doing it. I'm doing that deal. All right. Shoot. Y'all need to stop talking to me for a sec real quick. Let me get into my next point. Sean McDermott had a few things to say, and some that stood out to me. And he talked about Dalton Kincaid, and he had me feeling some type of way with this Dalton Kincaid conversation. Then he mentioned Keon Coleman, and he mentioned 3 names that I need to discuss, and we need to talk about. Where's my pen? And I need to discuss it. So first things first, let's talk about Keon Coleman. And both him and Brandon Beane mentioned that Keon, pretty much in a nutshell, fell off. You know what I mean? Started off decent, was involved, was doing all the things that he needed to do, but then got injured and then fell off. Okay? In the same breath, when he was talking about the receiver room, he was talking about needing a field stretcher, speed, so on and so forth. How can you talk out of your mouth and say you need speed, you need a field stretcher, yak, all that good stuff, and you go and you draft Keon Coleman that is not known for speed, that's not known for field stretcher, is not known for route running ability. So what are you talking about? That had me pissed off, because I wouldn't say pissed off. That's too strong of a word. But that had me, I don't care if he's only 21. What the hell does that mean? He's only 21. That means nothing to me. He's only 21. What's your point? John, you better talk to me now. What's your point with the 21? All right. So you draft that brother when you could have had Xavier Worthy. You could have had Ladd McConkey. You could have had, you know what I'm saying, Adonai Mitchell. But you passed up on all three of those cats to bring in Keon Coleman, which does none of the above that you asked for. So what are we doing? Like, you asked for something, you wanted it, you didn't get it. Okay, Crimey River, you didn't get Brian Thomas Jr. So go get the next closest thing to Brian Thomas Jr. with the size and the speed and all that stuff. You had it in Mitchell, but you passed on it, and you went with Coleman. So, and then you guys want to be, I don't want to say mad, but you guys want to question and criticize that he didn't do what he needed to do, and he's not the guy that you thought he was. Now, can he form himself into a receiver that, you know what I mean, develops and gets there? 100%. You can definitely do that. You can absolutely do that. And it just makes no sense to me. My man 10 Drippy says, yo, Rico, you had replied to a comment on Twitter I seen, and I agree. Maybe stop letting Josh pick the players. Fam, that's the whole nother thing too. That's a whole nother thing too. I'll get into that in just a moment, right? But I just get annoyed. You're telling us things that we already knew. That's why people were upset when you didn't take Xavier Worthy. That way, he was your field stretcher. He was the guy that had the speed and has hands. And you saw what damage he did against the Philadelphia Eagles. So in a way, I'm like, yo, sit on your ass and deal with this shit. You picked him, figure it out. But don't get mad at the guy that he's not doing the things that you want him to do. Oh, he after the injury, he didn't quite do that. Bro, we all know this brother wasn't what you said you needed. And now, oh, I need a field stretcher. Oh, now you do. Like, man. So that threw me off a little bit. And I understand you can't get too mad at a rookie receiver because you're gonna go through lumps. They did this, they had, and I totally get it. They go through the combine and they just finished school, they had bowl games or whatever, and they have all those things. They don't really have a rest, right? So he's gonna have his full offseason this offseason. So now, but you put the pressure. I need to see him do something in year 2. You're gonna get what you get. The high point receiver, big body, you know what I'm saying? And he's not gonna give you downfield threat. It's not him. That's not his game. He ain't gonna run route you and deke you out. No, he's not gonna do that. He's a big body possession receiver. That's what you drafted in the 2nd round. So I don't want to hear nothing from, oh, we needed that. No, that's on you guys. So are you and Brandon Beane on the same team? Are y'all thinking the same? Because if you are, I don't want to hear shit. Part of my language. I don't want to cuss, but I want to hear it. So make it work. You got $5? Make it work. Go and get me my damn Super Bowl. But I don't have enough. Make it happen. You chose that, brother. So make it happen. Or is that another miss on your end, Brandon Beane? I mean, I love what you did with Khalil Shakir. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you got to make up for Keon if he's not the guy that you want him to be. I want major success from Keon. I want him to succeed badly, especially because we chose him over those that are succeeding. Xavier Worthy being one. Yeah, but Rico, he had the same amount of yardage Keon Coleman had all season long, and Keon was hurt. Yeah, but I saw what this brother was able to do in the playoffs, because that's what matters at the end of the day. What did you see Keon do in the playoffs? Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, then. Thank you very much. So you catch what I'm saying? So Ladd McConkey, baller. That boy was moving. And everything told the Bills to draft it. Everything was pointing towards Ladd McConkey. This is the perfect fit. You lost Cole Beasley, which was one of your best slot receivers, and you decided to move on and move away from Ladd McConkey. Well, now you got to deal with it. And it's actually quite annoying. Quite annoying. Anyway, let me keep rolling. What's Walter saying? Is Walt saying something? My man Walter says, yo, the way they talked about Coleman, you would have never known he has as many career TDs than as Kincaid or former first round pick. Our former first round pick. Kincaid is 25 years old and is basically skates past criticism from Beane and McDermott. We're gonna get into that in just a moment because that's another thing that I'm a little annoyed by. All right. So yeah, Keon Coleman, I want a big year for Keon. But I was a little annoyed that, you know what I mean, they're like, oh, we didn't get enough from Keon Coleman and he needs to do this and he needs to do that. But maybe you put your too high of expectations on someone that doesn't do the things that you need him to do. So understand what he does and find out if your coordinator and your quarterback can get on one accord with that man. Because he can be nice, but if your boy keeps putting him in bad positions, Joe Brady, and I mean, obviously you're not going to get the results you want. You're not going to get the results you want. Tebow says, yo, people in the comments killing Kincaid and Keon bust after 1 and 2 years. Keon was playing very well before he got hurt. Anyone calling them bust really don't know ball. I'm not calling them bust whatsoever. I hope people aren't calling them bust after 1 year. Come on now. I mean, Jamarcus Russell for crying out loud. You want a bust? There you go. Khalil, you want a bust? Khalil Elam. There's your bust. You know what I mean? Come on now. Can't call these guys bust. Anyway, so that's my Coleman take. All right. I see what they want from Coleman, but like unless what they're telling me is I want a field stretch, I want this, that, but they're not referring to Coleman, they're referring to something or someone that they're going to get in this draft, or are they going to trade for someone? All right, that is something that I'm definitely open to. Obviously, we'll see what they want to do, but I'm not saying cut Keon some slack because I would have wanted to see a lot more from Keon. He did definitely disappear in the second half. He almost plays like I wouldn't say he doesn't care. I don't want to ever say that he doesn't care. He just got in the league and whatever, but it looked like, well, I don't know, maybe he felt that the season was long. So, oh man, I got to do another game? I don't know. But we certainly did not get what we needed out of Keon in the second half, and I agree with them on that part, but you also know what you drafted. You know what you drafted. All right, let me keep it rolling. Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott also said, when choosing players in combine and doing all those things, right? He mentions something to the nature of, and this kind of bugged me a little bit, which ties into the Keon Kincaid and all that stuff. Kyer, all those guys, which kind of makes me wonder, are these guys on the same page? Do they see things the same? I don't know. Let's get into it a little bit. So when we bring in guys, scouting and so on and so forth, I let the coordinators talk to them. I let the position coaches talk to them, ask them questions, whiteboard, all that good stuff. And then I don't say a whole lot. And then I try to go with my gut and ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. Normal. But what's your gut telling you? What did your gut tell you when you picked Kyer Elam? What did your gut tell you? Like, did the film not tell you everything you need to know? Even when I watched this film, I wasn't overly like impressed. I was like, okay, he's got size, he's got speed, maybe with some development, he'll be nice. Like, so what did your gut tell you? Did you just like you had you saw a nice kid, sweet kid? What about the other part of the NFL that you need a talented guy? I go with my gut and and I ask questions and I try to, if they miss anything, I try to jump in there. Okay, but what's your gut telling you? What kind of gut do you got? You know what I mean? Because right now, some of your gut feeling has got us looking at some of your picks like, okay, all right. I mean, Kyer being one of them. Keon being another. Did he make you kiki and laugh all day in the chat room and you forgot to you forgot that he's not a speed guy and he's not a this guy? Like, it kind of had me wondering a little bit. No, doesn't it? Like, yeah, he's funny, but did he make you did he lull you so much that you just forgot some things? And then now, I need some speed. Boy, you had it. You let that shit walk in the draft. So make me understand that. So I'm questioning the gut feeling my man McDermott has. You feel me? And I love some of the great picks that he's made. So, but it's questionable. So I'm paying attention what you're going to do this time around. So then he goes, we were a little disappointed in sorry, I got to scroll all the way down to the comment section here. We were a little disappointed in Kincaid. I mean, he was he was a little hurt, a little too hurt, and so on and so forth. You didn't draft him to be inline freaking tight end. You drafted him to kind of be the Travis Kelce, you know what I mean, for Josh Allen. You know what I mean, to be able to split him out wide. So, like, you want him to bulk up. You bulk him up, you're turning him into Dawson Knox. Dawson's a big boy. So what are we now? You're going to. I'm not saying that he's going to bulk up to the point where he's not the same type of player. You want him to condition himself and get stronger, all that good stuff. We get that. But then if you wanted, you should have just stuck with your boy Dawson Knox. It wasn't like Dawson Knox was falling off and he was some scrub. And I'm not poo-pooing on Dawson Knox at all. I actually enjoy Dawson Knox. I think he's a good player. I think he's one that Josh Allen still looks for to go to. He's been the consummate professional. But then you getting a little upset with Kincaid because he's been banged up a little bit. I mean, unfortunate. But like, you got to keep him the way he is, lean, smooth route runner. Just put him in the right position to do it. Joe Brady. So like, that's another thing that just drives me nuts, man. Like put these guys in the best position. Because I'll tell you right now, you throw him somewhere else, you give Dalton Kincaid to Joe Burrow. Watch what he does with Dalton Kincaid. You give Dalton Kincaid to Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, you don't think they'll make great work out of Dalton Kincaid? So I don't want to hear absolute diddly squat. That he needs to get stronger, he needs to get this. No, put him in the right damn position and put him in the right moments for us to get big plays out of him. Unless your gut feeling was not great. And maybe he's not the player that we think he is. Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, let me know. Maybe I'm overthinking things because we're in the offseason. But I'm just going by what he tells me, and I'm going by what I see. Am I wrong? If you guys let me know I'm wrong, I'll gladly take the L. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. Let me see. My man Bills for Less says, yo, Kincaid needs to just put more muscle on. That'll insulate himself from soft tissue injuries, make him harder to tackle. Sometimes people just got it. Sometimes people, I mean, he's a smaller size tight end. So like, put more muscle on him it doesn't quite work. It's like telling James Cook, yo, put another 15, 20 pounds on you. You're not gonna have the same back. It's gonna be a different back. 100% different back. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. Drippy says, yo, Knox was more consistent than Kincaid, though. Keep talking. This is what I'm saying. I need to see more. Anyway, let me keep rolling because he got into the Kincaid thing. So I was like, all right, I want to see what this offseason brings. And then he got into Cole Bishop. You know what I mean? And I've seen McDermott talk about certain players that he's drafted. And when they ask about this certain player, how they're going to do the following year, he raves. He says great things. He says really good things. And when they brought up Cole Bishop, I don't know about you guys, but did you not feel that it was a little underwhelming how we spoke about Cole Bishop? I didn't really hear the love. I don't know. I'm not saying that he should be, because if you didn't play well enough, you didn't play well enough. But I didn't really hear some optimism. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it, like I said, reading it too wrong. That's why I have y'all to kind of sound things off of you, and vice versa. Kind of felt that way. I don't know about y'all. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I got my man Walter says, sorry, I thought we drafted Kincaid to help our QB. I didn't get the memo that we were building to help him instead. This is what I thought too, brother. I mean, we brought him to help the QB, spread the defense out, make him a matchup nightmare. Did you see that? I felt like we went away from that. We got him inline blocking. That's not his game. Anyway, on to Bishop. Cole Bishop. I thought Cole Bishop had a decent year. But the way McDermott was talking about Cole Bishop, it was as if he was like, still not sure. And I'm paraphrasing here, by the way. I'm still unsure. You know what I mean? We still got a lot of work to do. We want him to, you know, build up, get stronger. He was a little hurt, so on and so forth. So it's like, did you just pick these guys just because, I don't know, you missed on something, or did you you felt you had the right pick? Was this the best player available? There's a lot of questions I have, man. So this year, I'm gonna be watching that defense. I'm gonna be watching thoroughly. And I hope Cole Bishop comes in and has a monster year and does what he does. But I don't know. I didn't feel the love from Sean McDermott speaking on behalf of his safety and the safety room. I don't know, friend. I really don't know. Anyway, so I don't have much to say too much about Cole Bishop. I didn't like that too much when Sean McDermott was referring to that. All right. So let me move on because I got a little bit left and then I'm out of here. So there was a video today of my man Brandon Beane. I'm going to find that clip for us. Here we go. Let me know what you think about this, right? He was asked a question about first round pick and would he be willing to move off of the first round pick if it brought him significant piece to this team, whether offense or defense or whatever the case is. Hear what he had to say about that.
First, anything that's right that can help our team, Jay, yes. I would not flinch. I don't know, I say this on the golf course, I'm a lot of things, but scared ain't one of them. And so, yes, anything that can help our roster that can fit and not cripple us in another way, yes, we would definitely do it. Those conversations, I swear they happen.
All right, so what do you guys feel about that? I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but so he's like, listen, man, you call me all the things you want to call me. One of them is I ain't scared. So if somebody calls me and they want to offer me a Luka Doncic type deal, I'm listening. I'm always listening. And he's always been, oh, Lord, the golf course makes sense now. He's always been a guy that's a straight shooter. What I like about Beane, that's one thing I do like a lot about Beane. Straight shoot, get to the point. You'll know where I stand. Love that about him. Love that from the minute he got here. So I wonder what would come Buffalo's way. And he clearly says that he's open to it all. Especially when you're picking at 30 and you got to give up your first round pick. What you going to do? Number one. Number two, are you thinking of packaging your first round pick and one of your second round picks to move up? And how far can you move up? And who is it that you're about to move up to get? Because your track record on moving up in the draft has not been great. The one guy you moved up for that was a great pick is your franchise quarterback. That is your current NFL MVP. And then you traded up for Tremaine Edmonds. We already know what time it is with Tremaine Edmonds. He's elsewhere. And ask the Bears how they feel about him. I'd love to know what they feel because I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I think if I remember correctly, he moved up for Deion Dawkins. Boom. Deion Dawkins seems to be a guy that will probably retire a bill. Who knows? And then Kyrie Elam, Dalton Kincaid. Who else did he move up for? I feel like I'm missing someone that he's moved up for, and it wasn't great, right? Talk to me now. So who is available for him to even, because right now the Raiders, I was like, yo, we are not trying to get rid of Max Crosby. We're trying to make this guy a Raider for life. So if money might talk for Max Crosby, but he has to understand, all right, well, if I'm not going to compete for an NFL championship, I might as well get paid and try to get myself to the Hall of Fame. Or if he's real about it, he'd be like, no, trade me. I don't want to be here. That's a whole different ballgame. We'll see what happens. And then you got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, absolutely available. He says, I do not want to play for the Browns anymore. So what is it going to take for these guys to get him? Apparently, there's a word that Myles Garrett might be leaning towards, or not leaning, there might be something going on with Cleveland and the Washington Commanders. And the Eagles are like, fam, we do not want to let that happen. And if it does come to fruition, we are going to make you an offer you cannot refuse. That's the Eagles. The Eagles are still trying to load up, even after dominating the NFL championship game, Super Bowl, with a pass rush that was unstoppable. And then they want to pick up Myles Garrett. So this is where Brandon Beane has to come in and say, wait a minute now. Hold my beer. I might have something for you. What is it going to be? That's what it's going to come down to. So interested to see how that shakes up. And I found that very, very encouraging to know that, Beane is ready to make anything happen. So call me up. Let's talk. If it makes sense, who you want. Because like I said before, the only person unavailable on this Bills team is Josh Allen, clearly. I know my man Zebot's like, and do not touch my guy Spencer Brown, and do not touch my guy Deion Dawkins. I'm sorry, folks. They can both go. I mean, not both at the same time, but I mean, if one has to go and it facilitates a guy like Myles Garrett, you ain't taking it? Yeah, I'm taking that. But anyway, it has to materialize. Probably not going to happen, but something to talk about nonetheless. My man Patrick, what up, Matt? Patrick comes in and says, Rico, I don't get why Beane hits in late rounds and misses the top picks. It's weird. Because the late rounds, those are guys that, we fall off because people don't believe them because of speed, size, you name it. That's why. And then, I don't know, he finds a way to find these guys that work out. I mean, Terrell Bernard's not your biggest, not your heaviest, but he's certainly going to get a contract extension with us. And he's a baller. He's nice. Christian Benford, Lord knows why he decided to get drafted in the 6th round pick. Wow. Right? And he's one of your better corners in the game. No idea. So it's like, if you're not in the first 15 picks, maybe 20, now you're like, where am I at? So the Bills aren't picking in the 15. Could they get down there if they make a trade? Who knows? But I'm interested as well, man. Like how he hits consistently in the middle rounds. And then when it comes to making these top ones, you're like, okay, underwhelming. I mean, 2nd round pick, AJ Epinesa. I mean, I can't remember what it was, but I mean, was that underwhelming? I mean, we gave up our 1st round pick for obviously Stephon Diggs, so that's why we had the 2nd round pick that year. But I mean, Keon Coleman. Some might say, did he hit on Keon Coleman? Did he overdraft on Keon? Was he the right pick? Could he have gone somewhere else? Could he have gone Xavier Worthy? You're gonna have questions for that type of that for how he manages, his draft picks and so on and so forth. So frustrating, but interesting nonetheless. By the way, let me read some of the comments before I get out of here, because you guys are always showing love. So let me show y'all some love too by hitting the comment section and go from there. My man Koala Bear says, Beane always fills the roster before the draft, so it's not like he's neglecting positions. The player just doesn't always work out. You're right, he doesn't, and that's what the free agency is about. Free agency is about filling certain spots where you don't feel the need to reach. Beane has always operated that way. I do not want to reach, so I'm going to fill certain positions that I'm okay with. So if I don't get the guy that I want in my draft, I'm okay with what I have on my squad. Is it good enough? Maybe not, but at least I'm not going to die, and I'm desperate. So I get that part. But fam, if you're gonna fill certain points, you better be so free to take chances on a guy that may not be the most character-based guy, but he's got a heck of a talent. And that's the one thing that does stand out to me. And I was thinking this to myself, and I'm going to leave this with you guys before I get out of here. I was asking myself, I was driving home today, and I was like, listen to the presser, and it got me thinking about talent versus character of certain people. What's easier to, and I was more listening to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp said something about tolerance and talent. If you're talented enough, you tolerate the player as long as he's talented. But the minute that talent falls off, you have no tolerance for this player. And I'm paraphrasing in that regard. So it got me thinking, right? And would you take character over talent, or talent over the character? And then which one's easier to develop? And that was my major question. Which one is easier to develop? Can you develop someone's, let's just say they're a great character, but not as talented. Can you develop the talent to match the character? And are you willing to go in on that? Or would you rather take somebody that has not great characters, got a few ruffles, feathers, but super talented? But if you put him around the right people, maybe his character improves and then matches his talent. And I'm like, if that's which one would you rather take a chance on? The guy with the great character, good talent, or great talent, okay character. What do you guys think? Because I was thinking about that. I was like, which one's easier to develop? Can you develop someone's character and match their talent? Or I mean, talent can always develop. You got guys that come into the league and they're okay, and then all of a sudden, after year 1, year 2, and all of a sudden they're jacked up and ready to go, and they're that dude. I don't know. What you think? Patrick says, yo, one question is not related to the draft. Oh, sorry. One question, not related to the draft, Rico. Von Miller, the only way to get his salary is Afar. Bro, we cut that, brother, man. 8.4 million you save. You save 8.4 million. You cut that, brother. There's no ands if the buts. If they bring him back, I'll be bothered. 35 plus years old, man. I mean, and coach said it. His mind is elite. His mind is elite, right? But 30 plus coming off these injuries, yo, save me all the chatter. Just let him go already. You know what I mean? But we have to wait till June. So it is what it is. But yeah, but that my question still falls. I'd like to ask and what you guys feel you guys would do. My man Koala says you can develop character. Talent is always unlocked when put in the best position. You can definitely develop character. But you can develop talent too, right? Good attitude, and they can be coached. They can get talented. But something about raw talent that can't be taught, you got to take. You can get on the character, put them on the right people. You know what I mean? They always tell you, don't you ever hear business people? Business people always tell you to be around other business people that are good at business. You'll learn something from them. You're around bum business people that lose money constantly. You hang around them, well, that's what's going to happen. Guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be bumming, losing money. So I'm hoping that plays a part in how they decide to go after their players this year. Because Lord knows we need the talent on the squad. My man Namdi says, yo, without character, talent would not yield the ultimate team result in the short window. The short window, you need it. Ooh, I like that. My man Al says, talent over character, or does the NFL stand for nice football league? You a fool. But anyways, I found that interesting. So like when I looked at it and I looked at that question, I was like, well, I'll take that talent over character all day. But I gotta see there's a glimmer of hope in that character. And then that way I can work on that character, right? Because if somebody cares enough and they know that that talent is there, you can work on that character. Put them around the right people. Away we go. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how teams and coaches usually look at this, and we'll see how our team looks at it. So let me conclude by getting out of here. But I hope I was able to answer a lot of your questions. If I didn't, I apologize. But let me land this plane real quick. But let me get this here. My man Walter says, I think Dallas has one more bad trade in them. Offer Jerry Jones Miller and the first for Parsons and see if it works. Why not? I mean, shoot. They both on some weird stuff. So we'll see, man. We'll see. My man said, yo, give me that talent. F that character. I want a dog. I feel you, bro. I feel you. All right. Let me conclude my show. And I appreciate you guys being here with me. So obviously we love the fact that Brandon Beane decided to you know what I mean, solidify his slot receiver in Khalil Shakir. You love to see it. I want to see exactly what takes place. My girl, land it, fam. Land that plane, girl. I'm trying to land that so I can get out of here. Yo, Lord, you a fool. She said, land that plane, man. All right, let me land that. Let me land that bitch right now, man. We're coming down, hard landing. All right. Love the pickup. Love the draft. Love the signing. 60 mil sounds crazy at first, but the league is just money just keeps being made. So it's got to be given to someone. Might as well give it to a good guy in Khalil Shakir. And I think that you're going to see another level raise with Khalil Shakir alongside Josh Allen, the freshly off the MVP Josh Allen. I see good things happening in that regard. Love it. And the question now becomes who's next. So do you bring in James Cook and say, yo, we're going to keep the core together. Let's keep the group together. My young 25-year-old slot receiver that I got for another 4 years for sure. I got at least 3. I got a young RB in the making. Clearly, Beane does not have to do a damn thing. Doesn't have to do a damn thing. He can just let that thing play out and away we go. Could James Cook have talked himself out of a deal by talking publicly. I mean, Beane said it's not going to affect him when it comes down to talking because he really, truly likes James Cook. James Cook is a man of little words. So the fact the man of little words is talking, maybe he means business, and he's not going to take nothing less than 15 mil. So you have your hands full, Mr. Beane. So figure that part out. But you also have 1 full year left of our guy playing, James Cook playing, and he's not about to squander that. So if you don't pay me now, later on, it's just going to get more expensive. Or he has an awful year, and he's talked himself out of a good deal. That's the price you pay when you want to negotiate. Somebody's going to lose. Or it's a win-win. You get 15 mil, you go, and the deal's constructed in a way that it works out for everybody. So we'll see. I'm in the team sign him because I'm looking back at what happened with Thurman, keeping Thurman, Walt. You know what I'm saying? Walt. You got me saying Walt because I see Walt doing that. You got Thurman, Jim, Andre. You got the whole crew. Try to keep that core together and build around those guys with complementary pieces. Bro, big things can happen. Big things can happen. So we'll see. My man Walter says, yo, if he talked himself out of a contract, fine. But I don't want to hear a damn thing about letting guys be themselves anymore. Right? You could be yourself. Shut your mouth. You be talking too much in the streets, man. You keep your mouth shut. Hey, man, you gotta take it for both ways, the way we want it, man. My man said, yo, we can franchise Cook. How much would that cost? Franchising Cook would cost 13 mil, but he's not there. We're not there yet to franchise him. If we're gonna franchise him, we franchise him next year in his last year of his deal. All right, when his deal is done, and then we can franchise him. Or does that work this year? No, I think we do it next year. So we'll see. We'll see. Somebody asked me a question earlier. Let me get to it before I get out of here. I think I landed the plane already. So Laura, you can start getting your luggage. You can stand up and get your stuff right now, girl. What did somebody ask me about draft pick and where should we go? Oh yes, right here. Bills for Less says, yo, Rico, what's your top 3 draft needs in this draft? Corner, DT, defensive tackle, defensive end. Those are my 3 that I'm looking at right now. And listen, it's all on the defensive side of the ball. Isn't that crazy? All on the defense side of the ball, man. So there's going to be a lot of things to take place, but we'll see how it all shakes out. All right, folks, landing that plane. I'm down there. I'm good. So if you guys enjoyed the show, please do me a favor. Do me a favor and smash that like. My guy, Z-Bot, is going to be going live tomorrow. He's going live tomorrow, so catch him. He'll be talking a little bit more about this deal, and I'm sure by then, deal will be broken down, so there'll be a lot more information, leaked out on what this deal looks like for Mr. Khalil, and we'll go from there. By the way, is your bag checked? Cool. Listen, make sure everything is in there. It's not broken because it was a soft landing, so we should be all right. If not, we ain't paying you. We're like Spirit Airlines, man. What you got is what you got. All right. But yeah, man, that's my time with y'all, man. I appreciate you guys very much. So you guys already know that. And I won't be here. Like I said, I'll be away out of town. So it'll be my man Z-Bot holding it down on Friday. And then I won't be back on Tuesday. But I'm back on Friday. So you won't see me for a week. So enjoy, be nice to Z-Bot, and show him some love. And let's keep that climbing. Let's keep these likes happening, these subscriptions happening, because we want to make sure that we get this type of information, especially in the offseason. I mean, get people informed, man. People look for channels like this to inform them of what's taking place, and then get some opinion, and then we get some back and forth from the chat. And I always like chatting with y'all because y'all good peoples. You're always good peoples, man. And we go from there. My man Pat says, yo, thank you, Rico. Have a great evening. We are always here, even in the offseason. Hey, love that, love that, love that. So that being said, you guys have yourself a great night. And we will catch you again next week.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. If something dire happens,
Buffalo Fanatic.
If something dire happens, where it's like breaking news, Z-Bot will definitely be on it. I might just hop on my phone and jump on with him for a little bit, but I'm sure it'll be a slow week. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not a crazy week. Anyway, have yourself a great night. And we'll catch you guys next week. Love you guys. And have yourself a good evening. It's your boy Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics, the Rico Report. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Talking to my people, cause the team's driven like West Her. Other teams can't, it's a repo. The opponents gotta call up Triple O. Bills Mafia, we heating up, we too electrical. We got Beane the plug, electric show. We wired up, hit up Rico, he fired up. We know where we stand on the power ranking. Other teams fans in the comments hating, we block them all. We protecting Josh. Salute to him, he the general now. Rico got legends for interviews. How the Buffalo Bills got the best fan base. Away games, red, white, blue in the crowd. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic.